two, Phil and Bill. You really epitomise why this community is so special and why it is a community at all. You know, Lynn was the very first place that I moved to in Auckland. And when you're a small town girl, and you'll understand this, Bill, being one from Aotearoa, I think. Slightly bigger, I think, than Morrinsville in terms of might. Cities like this can feel like daunting places, easy to get lost in. But Lynn never made me feel like that. It felt like a village. And that's why I love it so much. And that's why the people in it feel so special to me as well. And the longer that I've spent in politics, the more I've also realised that things that really community hang off these days are really twofold. Used to be that you could find your community in your local church, or maybe your local Sea Scouts, or your Brownies, or your club, or whatever it is that you belong to. But as our lives get busier and busier, we're really left with two things. We're left with education, and we're left with our health system. Those are the two places you can guarantee that you can touch the lives of even the most isolated person at some point. And that's what makes what you do so very, very important. So, on behalf of the people here, I say thank you. I particularly say thank you because you've done this through a period of real trial. And I know that will be top of everyone's minds as well. The other thing that I wanted to say that was particular to healthcare, and I acknowledge actually I feel very much at risk speaking at this event tonight, because the last time, Bill, that I spoke before or after you challenged me to do a half marathon. I feel somewhat safe that you're not going to challenge me to do that any time in the next few months, but nothing's guaranteed. But the other thing that I just wanted to make comment on was how important general practice is. And I say that not as a politician who spends a lot of time looking at the parts of our health system that really matter, and primary health care for me is the most fundamental. I say that not actually from that perspective. I say that having been a patient in a small town where Roger Smith, my local doctor, continues to be a part of my life and my family's life to this day. He treated me from the time I was a little girl. He was the person that when I got so sick that my parents took me into care after hours and we saw a doctor and they just couldn't tell us what was wrong with me, he was the first person that actually took the time to listen and finally uncover that I had Kawasaki disease. No one knew what Kawasaki disease was in Morrinsville, but he knew us well enough to know that something was wrong, and he cared for me and my family in a way, and continues to care for me and my family in a way that says that those GP relationships are so special. And they're so special regardless of whether or not they're via our schools, as I know that you outreach and do as well. Whether or not they're talking about medical issues or mental health issues, they're critical, they're important, they're a linchpin. And we're probably going to ask you to do more and more of that critical work because there are so few linchpins left. So, I hope everyone, I've done justice to the thanks that you wanted to perhaps give, given you didn't have the microphone. But for all that you do, all that you will keep doing, we say thanks, because this really is emblematic of a lot of work and a lot of hope for the future. Tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.